I used to think that the Steam Deck is just not for me. Too big, too bulky, and just underpowered compared to something like the Asus ROG Ally. And honestly, the thought of gaming on just strictly the Steam OS and just the Steam library just wasn't appealing to me. But after using the Asus ROG Ally for the last year, you know what? I wanted to give the Steam Deck a chance. Really quickly in the comment section down below, let me know if you would rather pick the Steam OS or the Windows for handheld gaming. So my experience with the handhelds is a little bit of a mixed bag. When I was little, I used to enjoy things like the Game Boy Advance. It was my go-to console as a little kid. But then the Nintendo 3DS and also later on the Nintendo Switch. And when I stopped playing the Nintendo Switch, I sold it only to get the Nintendo Switch OLED later down the line. And then from here I got the Asus ROG Ally. I wanted something that I could play my AAA games on the go. The idea of a Steam Deck just wasn't for me. I just didn't think that the Steam Deck was in any way for me. It was too big, too bulky, underpowered compared to this, and just didn't have the games I would like to play. I wanted to play my AAA games that I play on a normal basis, so like the Call of Duties, the Warzone, or other games like Assassin's Creed. And what I thought is this is a perfect device for it. You can play all those modern AAA games on it, and it's smaller than a Steam Deck, more powerful. Because of the Windows, you can play all of the games, but soon I learned that it just didn't match up to the expectations that I had for it. And while on paper it is stronger and you can play all the games because of the Windows also makes it just not as convenient as I want it to be. I have found myself just way too many times taking much longer to load into this than I would rather just play something else on a different console. Or I would find myself on a plane and not be able to play like 80% of the games because I would have to be logged in. For example, for Assassin's Creed and for other games where you have to log in before you enter the game. So that just meant like on the plane I would have to pick a game that actually worked. And so that it would have to be most likely from Steam, which has no problem with that. So essentially, I was kind of using it like a Steam Deck already, just with less battery and a similar form factor. But in the real world, I just couldn't really get on board with this console. It just seemed like I would have to constantly update something, the game, the Windows, the Asus ROG Ally software, all of the things have to be updated, then the PC as a Windows, turning off and on the launchers, everything just, there was so much of a process to even start gaming that sometimes I would just not feel like picking this up because I didn't want to get into all this mess. And this is where the idea of getting the Steam Deck OLED came into play. I thought, you know what, if I'm playing on a plane with my Steam games already, why not just get this Steam Deck OLED? You can play the games offline, you don't have to care about the online, and as you're getting the games on the Steam Deck, on the Steam library, it means that they're always on, even if you're offline. At least the games that are not online. And because this is based on the Steam OS, well, wouldn't that actually delete all the problems that I have with the Windows? Essentially, this works like a console. Even though it's a PC in a form factor of a handheld, it does work much more like a console. With the instant on and off standby mode, it just works much more similar to like a Nintendo Switch than the Asus ROG Ally. While it's not as powerful as the Asus ROG Ally, I know there's limitations to it and even the limitations of what games I can play on it. The games I wanted to play on the Asus ROG Ally didn't really turn out to be too good on it, so the AAA games like the shooter games, I would rather play on my PS5 on a big screen OLED TV with a custom-made controller than on a small screen where I cannot even see half of the time and the analog sticks are just not as precise. So in turn I would play smaller games like indie games, action games, single player games, which most of them can be played here in a really good quality, but with much better battery, with a nice OLED display, and just overall the analog sticks just feel a little bit better in my opinion. But the most important part about this, the Steam Deck OLED for me personally, is the Steam OS, which while only having it for a couple of days at this point, I have fallen in love with it. Just having that instant on and off with just a simple click, and as you can see, I'm back on the screen and then it's getting into sleep mode. That's how quick and easy it is to use. This is why I am so much loving it so far. Even though I haven't played too much on it, but the way I did use it and the way I did play with it, it is just what I wanted. And it's kind of crazy that when this initially released, this first Steam Deck, I thought it was completely not for me. Even when the OLED came out, I was just slightly more convinced that maybe this is for me. But once I actually got to use the Asus ROG Ally for longer, I noticed that this might be actually the one console that I want. It is the mixture between high quality AAA games like Red Dead Redemption, but also the form factor and just the ease of use of a console like a Nintendo Switch. And I'm not gonna get into emulation and the protons and everything. Let's just say an average consumer can pick this up, set it up within 2 minutes, log into their Steam account and just download the games and have fun with it. It just works, and that makes it such a wonderful device. And I cannot wait to take it with me on like a longer flight where I can really push the battery and really play for much longer and still enjoy the AAA experience. And the updates for the games and the software is just so convenient. The whole experience, I would say, comes down to convenience with a beautiful screen. And I have to say that. The only thing I would say the Asus ROG Ally really was like the better of the two is the speakers. In my opinion, those speakers are just incredible, but the Steam Deck doesn't have bad speakers per se. I really enjoy them too. So why did I change my mind and why I wanted to make some videos about the Steam Deck OLED for this channel? First off, it performs like a console rather than a PC, and that is a big plus for this. If you want to use it as a PC, there are ways to use it as a Linux-based PC. You can go into desktop mode, but if you just wanted to use it as like a Nintendo Switch but with more AAA games from the Steam library, then this is definitely something I can get behind. It's really, really great in that regard, and that is why I actually got it. I never thought I would actually want it, and now here we are. I have it and I'm just loving it. The battery life on this is much, much better. At the same time, with the beautiful OLED screen, which is just incredible, even on camera, if I turn it on, you're gonna see how beautiful it is. I'm gonna have the Red Dead Redemption on here so you can see how nice that screen is. It's just such a joy to use. And like I said, the Steam OS is just so nice. It's just so smooth. Everything is what you want. There is a store, there's your library, your games. Everything is just incredible. It's for nice, easy to set up. Everything is just there for you. And in my opinion, this along with the Nintendo Switch is just like a perfect way for someone that wants to really quickly just pick up and play some games. And then when you're ready, just click, bye-bye, and it's off. In my opinion, that is really like a huge factor that I didn't think is going to be that big. Until I really got to play with the Asus ROG Ally throughout the year, and I found those quirks of the Windows system to be just a little bit too much for me. Just made the handheld PC not as enjoyable as I wish it was, and just with all those different things as a whole package, well, the idea of it is amazing, and it really is performance-wise amazing. The convenience of this, just the use, and just how this works, and it works, just makes it so incredible. And I'm rambling about this Steam Deck like it's something new, and I know a lot of you probably used it for so long, but I just wanted to share my initial thoughts about the Steam Deck. I want to make more videos about it because I feel like there's so much cool to explore, and I wanted to compare how good it is in 2025 because we have some nice handhelds like the Asus ROG Ally, Ally X. We're gonna have the new handhelds with even more improved performance. We're also gonna get Nintendo Switch 2. So I cannot wait to compare the Nintendo Switch 2 versus the Steam Deck OLED. It's gonna be a nice comparison because now the Switch is way behind the Steam Deck. But I cannot wait to see how the Nintendo Switch 2 compares to the Steam Deck OLED. I think it's gonna be a much closer battle. The Steam Deck OLED proved me wrong. If you're chasing numbers like I did with the Asus ROG Ally, maybe it's time to look into what really makes the handhelds great. If you're enjoying this video or want to know more about the Steam Deck or more about different consumer tech, consider subscribing for more content like this. And now that I am done rambling about the Steam Deck and how good and just first impression is amazing, let me get into playing, let me get into Red Dead Redemption, and I'm gonna get back to you in a while. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any more questions about the Steam Deck OLED, let me know in the comment section down below. With that being said, that is gonna be the end of today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed this video once again, and I'll see you next time.